Hello friends and welcome to another video. I asked you on Instagram if you wanted to see more minimal themes for my setups, and a lot of you really liked minimal aesthetic themes, so I decided to make a mini series where I'm doing plan with me's in minimal style. I'm using this lovely notebook that came in the messy and bright holiday box, and it's currently available, so if you wanted to get this notebook that is completely personalized or customizable, I do recommend to check it out on my description down below. I'm using 𝐦𝐿 products. If you want to get anything from 𝐦𝐿, remember to use my affiliate code Danos Bujo10 for 10% discount, and there are affiliate links in the description down below as well. So starting with the cover page, I decided to write 2022 in this lovely aesthetic and font. I meant font. And I just decided to use black and gray for this new bullet journal setup kind of style. One thing happened that was not planned, that I did this setup while I thought that I was recording, but I wasn't recording because of the memory on my card. So a lot of footage was lost during the process, and it was a bummer. So to compensate the footage that was lost, I decided to do as well January plan with me, or a theme for January. So you get like 2 videos in just one, and I will just talk about all the pages as we go by. So right now I am just coloring in black the headers for my feature log. A feature log is really useful to see. I mean, this is not the feature log, this is actually just the calendars. I forgot that I don't usually do these calendars on my bullet journal because I like to take advantage of the feature log and make just the calendars that I'm going to use during the year. I decided to make a full year setup this time, but I usually just use 2 notebooks. On the half I do another setup, so it's not like something I really need to have on my bullet journal. Right now I'm just doing the monthly calendars as I said, and I'm just using the acrylographs in black and gray to make these lovely headers. After painting the gray little lines or rectangles, I'm just coloring in gray because I want to write like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like the days of the week on this little square space. And I wrote all the numbers that, I just wrote the calendars on each and every square that I made. I really love how it turned out. It's really beautiful and minimal. You know, I like minimal aesthetic. For example, sometimes I feel that I want to do a minimal theme just to get out of art block, and having this mini series is really awesome and great for that. After erasing the pencil that I'm used to sketch, here's the cover page and the monthly calendars that I set up with you. This is the only footage that I had for this 2022 setup. So I'm going to explain what I did after that. Here's the feature log, and you know that I love using feature log. It's really useful and it's really pretty, and I used the font. And side note, I decided to make a free printable for the font that I used in this setup, and that will be available on the description down below, so check it out if you want to recreate this theme or this spread. The fonts are there, and I use this black acrylograph that I'm showing right now, and I used stamps for the calendars as well. Moving on, I did a year at a glance, and this year at a glance is basically just you can use both ways for tracking your moods every day during 1 year, or just to mark a memory or an event. And on the right side I did a goal list that I recommend if you want to make a list of goals that you want to achieve and this way it's a lot easier to write it down on paper and just keep track of it. Next I did a want and a need spread, where you just write the things that you want and need. Like for example, I want to get an iPad, so I would write iPad on want, and need, for example, I need to buy me something that I really need to get. I hope that made sense. And on the right page I did memories, that I did like as well a list just to write the memories. You can just write the date and the memory, that's completely up to you. I'm showing you that I used the gray acrylic I used the gray calligraph from the, I don't remember the collection, but I think it's the either the tropical or the prime, but the jewel collection. And finally, for my last spread that I used, I did an income and spend tracker. This is a useful tracker that I also added on behind the camera on my own bullet journal, and I'm going to try this as well, but I'm just going to track the income that I receive each month and how much money I spent during each month. It's a good way just to track if you are earning more or spending more money. After setting my 2022 spreads in a minimal style, I'm going to now show you how I set up a January setup in minimal style. It's really easy, and I just use this washi tape to decorate the bottom part and the top part of these pages. I decided just to rip a little bit of one side of the washi tape just to create this vintage style. And it's really easy. It's like an effortless decoration that you can add if you are a minimalist, and it's great for just like easy decorations that you can do on every page, and you'll see that soon enough. For this cover page, I just used the washi tape that like I mentioned before, and I used a red calligraph to make a January calligraphy on the middle of the page. Just to spice up a little bit of this title, I decided to use the Fudenosuke tip of the calligraph and just make a little drop shadow, if you get what I mean. And after that, that's pretty much how I decorated and did the cover page for January. For the next spread, I did a calendar that, if you see my videos, you know that I like to do these calendars for my weekly spreads. But I know that a lot of people like to have calendars at the beginning of the spread, and since I'm not going to use these spreads, I decided to make like a layout that is useful for everyone and not just for myself. So for this, I just colored the headers for the days of the week in this red. I forgot the name of the pen, but it's from the 𝐦𝐸𝐻 collection, if I'm not mistaken, and I will confirm that on the description down below. So if you see the acrylographs and the names, I will link the collection where you can find this pen. I really love this red pen. I use it on my reading journal and it's really lovely. And in case you want to see how I set up my reading journal, that will be listed on the description down below as well. So back to the spread, I am now just doing the calendar, and I like to just mark here some events or birthdays, and it's really easy and simple. Since January starts in a Saturday, I decided to divide the Saturday and Sunday on the right page and the rest of the days of the week on the left. Since I had some space on the right, I decided to add a task list for the month where you can just write what you need to do on the month, and I think that's really useful and a great way to use the calendar spreads. To spice up a little bit my calendar, I just did some dots to write the days, and that's pretty much it. I also just used the calligraph to separate the lines on the task list, that you'll see it pretty soon, and that's basically it. I used the black calligraph just to write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday until Sunday, and that's my calendar spread. I hope you enjoy this minimal style. It's like something that I want to do, but I'm not really used to do it as content for you guys, so I really hope this is useful for you. So moving on to the next spreads, I actually got a little bit confused what I would do in the tracker spreads. I decided to go for habit tracker and expense tracker, but since I'm doing this like minimal aesthetic kind of episodes for you guys, let me know in the comments what are the trackers that you need to see or you need inspiration to create. For example, it could be habit tracker, mood tracker, my sleep and work tracker, for example, or expense tracker, task list, whatever you need ideas, just write down on the comments. I will try to make those on the next Plan With Me minimal style aesthetic. I don't know how to call it, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So like I did before, I used the washi tape on the bottom part and on the top part, and on the left side I did the habit trackers, where I just did the layout of the calendar for the month of January, and I used only the calligraph and the red acrylograph. I think it's really pretty and cohesive, and it looks really, I don't know, I love vintage aesthetic, and this theme just screams me a little bit of vintage. So I just did the layout of the calendars for each habit. I'm using an A5 notebook in case you don't know what size of the notebook I'm using. But yeah, that's pretty much it. On the right side, I'm doing just the 2 columns for the description and the price of the things that I purchased, and I repeated it on the site. I don't know, there are 2 columns for the same thing. To spice up a little bit the spread, I use these vintage labels from the washi tape shop that I got on Black Friday, and I just wrote habits and expenses as the top headers of the spreads. It's really easy and like I mentioned before, so effortless to do. So for my final spread that I'll be doing on this video, and I know it's sad, it's almost finishing the video, but I decided to add a weekly spread. This is a weekly spread that starts on Monday the 3rd and ends on Sunday the 9th. So I basically divided the page in half, on each page halves, so I could have 4 squares in each page. Since we have 7 days of the week, I decided to not include one of them on the left page that you can see, and that will be like a small decoration that I decided to add on this spread. So I wrote the calendar, a mini calendar, and the days of the week in craft paper, and I used the washi tape that I've been using to make like this square kind of thing decoration. I don't know how to call it, but I just did this square that is the same size of the other squares that I did for the days of the week. It's not actually squares, it's more rectangles, but you know what I want to say. And I used a label from the vintage label to write just Jan, like the 3 letters of January, and that's pretty much it. I divided the lines with the gray calligraph, and after that I just wrote the days of the week and the days, and that's pretty much it. So here's the final flip through of all of these spreads. I'm so sorry that I lost the footage. It was meant to make 2 videos instead of one with two Plan With Me's, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. If you like this theme or this idea or this project, whatever you want to call it, just let me know in the comments down below, and leave a rose on the comments down below so I can know that you are a real one and you watched this video until the end. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye friends.